Hey guys, Rinji here, once again bringing you the worst out of the VTuber community. And if you're on Twitter, in the same way I am, sometimes not out of choice, you probably might have stumbled upon the discussion about male VTubers recently, and maybe in the prior months too, as this whole thing gets regurgitated over and over again. What I'm talking about here? Well, I'm talking about the not all men discussion when it comes to VTubers. There are often times when VTubers get exposed as some kind of predator, sex predator, abuser, manipulator, what have you. It happens, but in VTubing, where there's a lot more females than are males, and from what I have covered on my Twitter account, I would say you're going 2 for 2. The amount of female to male abusers is almost equal, I would say. So congratulations, VTubers of the predominantly English VTubing scene. You have reached equality in the worst way possible. Tap yourself on the back. But today's topic is about something else. It's about a VTuber deciding to shit a bit on a male VTuber support group in response to generalizing VTubers, male VTubers, as abusers. So let's get right into that. Making a male VTuber support group just at the moment where women express their feelings experience is crazy. You'll need to chill and actually get a bit of reading comprehension. Check this below. If after that you still don't understand, it might be terminal, not gonna lie. Now let's take a look at this little comic right here. Not all men. Words by Christina Mayone. As humans, we generalize things. For example, we say, be careful, ticks, they carry Lyme disease. But no one says, actually, not all ticks carry Lyme disease, because logically we all understand that enough ticks carry Lyme disease to put you at risk of being infected. When we speak up about women's oppression and abuse, obviously we know it's not all men, but 1 in 3 women are assaulted by a man in their lifetime. It's enough to make all women afraid. Well, first of all, it's not very nice or very smart to generalize, humans as insects that are carriers of a disease. And considering, humans have agency and they can control their behavior, whereas, insects are usually just kinda almost automatons. They, you could even say, they can't help it. But we as humans can help it. So, generalizing people, generalizing human beings in this way is not only dehumanizing, but also paints a very wrong picture for other things, as these kinds of similar arguments have been used in a lot of weird racist arguments as well, so be careful with that slippery slope of yours. But let's continue on to this discussion. I'm going to mute as I spent my entire afternoon on this. Weird way to spend all day, but I want day off, but I want to go eat, then prepare my stream. Thanks for those who supported and those who were open for discussion. For those interested, I stream in 2 hours, probably some pizza tower. Fire. That would be crazy. Here's the neat part. That's not the case. Random male VTubers have been getting onslaughts of harassment lately for one reason of being generalization that happens when people say it's all male VTubers. Please look into things further next time. There is no doubt that male VTubers also meet harassment, but sometimes it isn't our turn to talk. And taking specifically posts of women expressing their sorrows to complain about it's pretty depraved. Those two discussions must be had separately. At separate times. No, they don't have to be, especially if you try to shit on one group and try to speak over another. We're all people here. Everyone should be able to speak up. Kinda wild you say that during Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Is there no time for guys not to feel like they gotta silently take harassment because someone out there is also facing harassment? No, it's just that isn't to be brought up on posts of women sharing their woes of being posted while vague tweeting those same people. We should do more about men's mental health, but we need to recognize who is the cause of this. It's a generational problem. In the end, generalizing causes a much bigger issue. Misogynists will show posts saying things like all men and say, look how they treat us, why shouldn't we treat them differently? To convince more people to take part in misogynistic groups. Generalizing only acts as ammo to them. Misogynists never watched callouts and generalizations to do that though. It's a behavior they need to actual medical help to fix. Ideally, someone will see the example and understand why all men is used. Ultimately, it is understood it isn't all men, but too many. Issues like that can be developed through things like what I said. If everyone seems to be against you, why would you listen to them? If someone just now seeing that stuff is like they won't wait for an explanation if someone's already given them a false one. The solution is to say too many men, there is no reason to say all men, other than driving people apart. Yet another seemingly harmless phrase that was originally made to drive society further into hatred. There are frustrations that need to be vented about the majority, and that's how it's done, and even get some visibility. Even if you say most men, there will still be people who are going to complain. At this point, it's better to give something more striking. Yeah, because you know, exaggerating stuff always have worked very well for people, especially when venting issues like that. Most men isn't even accurate. 50% of the fucking human race isn't out to get you. If you say most men, then the only people complaining will be the ones who are a part of the problem. Right now, most complaining feel attacked just for being male. How would you feel if a statistic came out saying 1 in 3 women cheat and people started saying all women cheat? I'm not going to talk about it because I don't know what's going on, but I would still like to point out that all humans generalize things. Just have to add 1 or 2 words to the word generalization. Not everyone thinks it's generality, not everyone, I think. Humans work on pattern recognition. You make sweeping statements on the daily. Normally one does not feel targeted when a generalization doesn't relate to them. There is the reason why we tell daughters all sorts of things to be safe, and the answer is pretty gendered. Yep, similar arguments used by racists too. So how about generalizing by race? Because you're making the same argument the racists do when they say to be careful when a black person enters a store. Men aren't a minority, and they don't have their lives threatened simply because they are men. And I swear to God, if you say something like, actually men are only 49% of the population, so they're a minority, I will smash your phone. Both know exactly what I mean. Not entirely true, but I wouldn't expect you to know anything past what hits the front of Twitter. Holy hell, these replies. Guarantee a man could say exactly what you said and be shouted down with simp or beta male. It's a great analogy, and all of these replies just confirm it's a societal problem. It's still waiting for people to notice I'm AMAB. For the analogy, I can only thank Christina for this awesome analogy that makes it easier to explain and educate others. Analogies are the real saviors of education. Yeah, worked out very, very good for the Nazis, if I'm to be hyperbolic too. LMAO, amazing. They really are. Makes it much easier to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, I wish you people listened to yourself and understood the greater context of what you're saying. I really do. Man, people in the replies are either missing the point or are just in major denial. Right? I'm so telling though. I'm leaving everything up so you can use it as a block list. Thanks. Here's the neat part. You can have awareness for the crap that women go through online, and you can have a support group for the men who face crap online at the same time. Exactly. That's why I'm saying the group didn't happen from a place of genuine worry for men's strifes. You really need to learn that if you recognize yourself in a post about someone's negative experience with men, you might have some internal issues you might want to fix. Women dominate academia. Surely they can figure out how to construct a statement in such a way where they can avoid using such generalizing language and hold people they're referring to some degree of accountability. Men in all men reads as patriarchy. Oh, now we're getting into that one. That talking point. Usually want your statement shorts, especially on character limited social media. The longer statement is, Yes, not all men, but for sure, not enough of them. Patriarchy legitimizes their behaviors, and it needs to be deprogrammed. Oh, so now we're gonna medically or fix them via deprogramming. That's again, you're kind of copying talking points of a lot of very nasty groups throughout history. I would be very careful in making statements like that. Yeah, no. Please, this to an English professor and they will laugh at you out of the classroom. My experience with these specific VTubers, then proceed to shred out screenshots, Discord recordings, etc. So easy and be hearing none of the discourse you're seeing now. Nah, it's still here, the discourse. Yes, because VTubers need to have their drama every single day. And as I was talking about this more recently, it becomes very cyclical. So this is not even the first time VTubers have had this sort of discussion. Fun fact, the 1 in 3 statistic is literally just a lie. It was a study of 100 college girls at one college. Less than 5 said they were essayed. The person doing the study admitted to just claiming another 30 in order to justify her thesis. Have you ever spoken with women about their experience with men? Even in your family, even in that study isn't exact, you don't need to look for her to hear about how much harassment happened daily. Also think everything we say, women, keep them safe. Don't distress like a slut, don't walk alone at night, etc. Who are we keeping them safe from? From very young, it is laugh. Maybe ponder on that instead of just jumping and going. Actually, as a man, I was taught to walk around with the car keys between my knuckles. You can't carry brass knuckles, but sharp metal objects are the best next thing if you get jumped. Aim for the eyes and the jugular. I'm not even scared of guys than girls personally. I've attacked by someone when I'm out alone, but they were female, not male. I wasn't going to fight back though, because I felt it would just make it worse. I just wanted her to stop. She yelled at me, hit me pretty hard, made my lip bleed. Didn't know she was, but she thought I was someone I wasn't. Seems she had issues. But it's Men's Mental Health Month. Can't men do stuff for it? There's a timing and intent for that group. It's made at the state of the month it would be uploaded because it comes from a genuine thought. Here it was blatantly because women dared to speak up. That's why it's criticized. It was made in opposition, not for support. There's also time to pulling this shit during Men's Mental Health Month. Unfortunately, this feels more malicious than anything. I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was Men's Mental Health Month. Of course, you wouldn't know. And that's while AMAB and neurodivergent. I'm not American though, so that might be it. June is Pride Month for me because I do know about Stonewall. Sadly, what I did see is men imposing themselves on women expressing themselves, and I have family members who are women, and I talk to me a lot about their issues. This pretty outrageous behavior didn't sit right with by me. A lot of these bringing up men's mental health felt disingenuous though, as the discussion is about the patriarchy, which harms men's mental health too. Because you don't care about men's problems, why not openly say it? It's not like there would be any backlash, hell, you'd gain followers from it. Congratulations, you just compared men to insects. Good point. Is that how you read it? Maybe you find yourself in that description. You said it. Not me. Anyone with guilt just read a comparison between two legitimate possible threats. But you do you. Congratulations, now you're accusing random people you know nothing about of harassment. Get blocked, bozo. 2-digit VTuber trying to start shit for no reason. Bold of you to assume I have 2 digits. Not the own you probably thought it was. Ticks are something you don't want on you anyway, even the ones that don't have the disease. Proves our point, you all just hate men including ones that don't carry Lyme disease. The only point you're proving is you're wanting some form of victimhood because you felt targeted by a broad statement as someone is part of the patriarchy. If women don't want to be on you, it's not because you're a man, but because you're likely the man being complained about. I like this screenshot. it really proves what Twitter discussion is all about. Twitter, the only place where well-articulated sentences still get misinterpreted. You can say, I like pancakes, and somebody will say, so you hate waffles? No, bitch, that's a whole new sentence. What the fuck you talking about? Label the men, don't generalize. There's too many he said, she said moments, and too many false reports, alongside what everybody has said. Yikes, dude. While I'm down with the message, the analogy makes me feel uncomfy, since I've seen similar ones used for anti-black rhetoric where I live. The classic, if they're only 1 in 6 of all Americans, why do they commit 60% of violent crime thing? Good message. Awkward example. Hateful example, I'd say. Remember, this identical rationale is also used by racists, transphobes, homophobes, xenophobes, and anti-Semites to justify their hate. You're okay with generalizations like this? No, you're not above any other sweeping generalizations based on born characteristics. I can't believe it needs to be said, not all men are assholes and abuse women. I've managed to go 34 years without being an ass and continue planning to do so. And that's great, we should all strive for this to be the norm. The goal, in the end, is that instead of seeing all men one day, you only see some men. How about individuals instead of making these weird gender generalizations all the damn time? But for that, we need society to progress, and we need to deprogram the behaviors encouraged by the patriarchy. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and you're gonna pull some of this out on our month? Really? Not our turn to talk? My ass. Our month, please remember that it's shared with the Pride Month, where we also have our issues with the patriarchy. That has nothing to do with Pride. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month doesn't mean free misogyny and patriarchy worship month. Apparently it means free misandry, though. Pay attention, both months are to fight against the patriarchy. Men's mental health issues are mainly caused by the patriarchy. The expectations fathers impose on their sons are a key component of why mental health is so hard to talk about. That's so much bullshit. Like, it's like this person went to university or college once and got a course in I don't know. This person is from Belgium. Do they have like critical race theory or something in there that's coupled usually with these kinds of talking points, even though, you know, it has very little to do with race but more with gender, but those points are still there. This is so weird, man. Let's continue. And the generational wound makes the behavior be passed down. Also, so maybe it's genetic now too. Please read deeper than the surface. My dad, as well other people's dads I know, wanted the best for them. My dad with his stepdad also proved that the man who raises you doesn't make you who you are. Choose who you want to be regardless of environment. Again, my dad is living proof of that. Yes, but does it mean that all men get to be made aware of what is toxic masculinity and what is something good to keep? Some live in that bubble so much they end up watching the Tate brothers and the Peterson. This is what need to be fought, not women's legitimate fears. I couldn't agree more than bad influence need to be stopped. I'm also not denying women's legitimate fears. Having 2 younger sisters, I'm definitely empathetic to that. The current mode on social media for both sides is bad. And I don't know, what is toxic masculinity to you? And then the discussion ended on that. But I'll say this at the end of this video. Always keep individuals responsible, no matter what shallow characteristic they may have. Gender, race, ethnicity, whatever. It's always the individual's fault. It's not the group's fault when it comes to issues like this. But for right now, that's everything. And I hope to see you on the next one.